Kia ora and welcome back to today's video. Today we are looking at the Rembrandt 48 half pan set. This I bought on Jackson's website I bought it on sale. So it was 300 New Zealand dollars, which is pretty good. The last time I saw it on special, it was 450 New Zealand dollars. So I was pretty excited and I decided to buy it on the Black Friday special. So today we will be unboxing and swatching it together. So as I said, this is Rembrandt. So they're really good quality paints. I've tried their pocket set before and it comes in this very nice box. So here is the metal tin and I'll just take it out. It's a really nice box, I have to admit. So here is the set. Open it up. It's very big, so it takes up a lot of space. It's your standard kind of metal tin. It's got the brand in here. It also does come with a brush. It's just down here, which you can see. I'll pull it out. Since I'm just doing the swatches today, I'm going to actually leave it out like this. It can come out of the set, and yeah, I'll unwrap them off camera because that will be easiest, but I want you to appreciate that beautiful glory before I unwrap it. Here is the paintbrush. I'll use this to swatch as well. If it focuses, this is the Rembrandt Pure Red Stable in the size 6, so it's just a round brush and I'm pretty excited to use it. So I'll unwrap one of them on the camera with you guys. So this is Rembrandt in the colour opaque white, if it wants to focus. I don't know if it is. And it's got the pigment information down the bottom here as well. But they are pretty smooth, yep, as I thought, to unwrap. Just like a candy. And there we have it, all unwrapped. So I'll do that for all of them. Okie dokie. So I've got it unwrapped here. Took a while, about 10 minutes to unwrap it all. And one thing to note about this is that the pigment number is like right down the bottom here where you kind of unwrap it if it wants to focus. Right down the bottom there. So if you want to write the pigments or know the pigments, write it down before you unwrap everything, otherwise it will just rip. And the pigments are quite hard to find, I found, for this paint brand. The other thing to note is that this probably won't happen for you, but for me I got 2 of the same colours here, which is a shame. I think I was meant to get 311 and I got 211s. So that's just the name here. So I've got, right, if it wants to focus again. So instead of getting these 2 colours, I got 2 of this one right here. So that shouldn't happen to you, but it did happen for mine. So it is what it is. It's just a pity that it happened. So the next part will be swatching. When I swatch, I will say the name of the colour and then the number that it's under, as well as the pigments in it. So it'll be a whole list of things I'll read out. I'll be using the Winsor & Newton 100% cotton paper. So the paper will be the usual one I use, and it will show the colours as they are, so you don't have to worry about being like, oh, but how does it look on nice paper, because this is the nice paper. So I've actually already drawn up everything beforehand, and I've even got the little logo up here. I was pretty proud of that. If it wants to focus. I did it in gold gouache, so it shines, which is pretty fun. But I've written everything down here, so when we swatch, I'll be able to give you all the information needed. So I'll set up myself here, and then we'll swatch it out together. I'll do it every second one I'll swatch, and then I'll go back and swatch the ones I've missed. Okie dokie, let's get into this. So this is me trying out the brush for the first time too. I haven't pre-wet any of the colours, so it should be interesting to see how they re-wet. First up is opaque white PW6, which the number for Rembrandt is 106. First impression, it looks pretty opaque, which is great. This is going to be the more watered down swatch, and I'll do a more opaque swatch over top when it dries. We'll move on to the third one along, which is Azo Yellow Light, which is 246 is the Rembrandt number, and the pigment is PY154. Okie dokie. Then we've got Laureline Yellow, well, it just says Laureline, and it is PY150, and the number for Rembrandt is 242. Oh, that one's great. It's a great pigment payoff. I'm not even using that much water. I'm like just touching them, and the payoff is great. Next is one of the cadmiums. This is cadmium orange, PO20, and the number is 211. So this is the one that I've got a double up of instead of the in between colour from cadmium red and cadmium orange. So I can't remember what the colour of that is meant to be, but I know it's meant to be 311, not 211. So it's a shame that I've got a double up there, but it should be right. Next is cadmium red, which is PR108. Number for Rembrandt is 305. Now these ones are quite opaque since they're quite heavy metals, or pigment, sorry. So my swatching is really just incredible, like, wow. As I said, I'll use quite a bit of water on this first swatch to see if there's any granulation or texture as well. Moving on, we have cadmium red deep, which is PR108, and 306 is the number. These are really in the line here. Sorry for anyone that has OCD. It might not be that satisfying. The brush is great though, it's holding plenty of water. Also, once these are all dry, I'll show you a close-up version as well. Moving on, we've got Carmine, which is PR264, and the number is 318. Oh, that's not Carmine. I doubted myself too much. That was Carmine. Then moving on, we've got PV19 is the pigment. It is quinacridone rose, which is 366. If you want to find it for Rembrandt. Then we've got Mauve, however you pronounce it, which is PV19 and PO15, I believe. And then the number is 532. That is beautiful. Rembrandt is quite good. They only tend to use 2 pigments, even when they do their larger mixes. Yeah, I don't think any of these use more than 2 pigments to create them. And for anyone that's curious, that means your washes are quite clean, which is really nice, and means they're reliable as well. You don't need to question it and be like, oh, what were the pigments in these? What is my mix going to turn out like? They're like safe and stuff. So this one is Ultramarine Deep. This is PB29 and this number is 506. I'm using quite a bit of water for this one because I know ultramarine likes to granulate. Continuing on, we've got Cobalt Blue, which is PB28 and 511 for the Rembrandt number. Again, using quite a bit of water because cobalt tends to granulate. I should have actually done that for the cadmiums as well, but I can do that when we go back through. Then we've got Phthalo Blue Greenish, which is PB15, 576 for the Rembrandt number. I'm really liking this brush. It's beautiful to use for watercolour. I wonder if it's... Okay, then we've got Indethrynal Blue. I always can't pronounce that one. But you'll know it when you see it. It is PB66 and it is 585 for the number for Rembrandt. And this one is a beautiful colour. Gorgeous blue, this one. Whoa. Wow, wowee, wow. Beautiful. Okay, next is Turquoise Blue. This one is one of the few mixed pigmented colours here. This is Turquoise Blue, which is PB15 and PG7. The number is 522. Beautiful. You know, whenever I say beautiful, I kind of expect that with these colours because of how expensive they are. So you would hope that they are great colours because otherwise people wouldn't be paying as much as they do for this brand. Next we've got Phthalo Green, which is PG7, which is 675. Yeah, so when it comes to professional paint, you kind of expect them all to be good quality and reliable, easy to re-wet. That's kind of the standard. But for a set like this, you get this beautiful brush, which is the natural fur, which you'd hope. And then you get all these beautiful, mostly single pigmented colours, which is exactly what you want. Well, exactly what I was hoping for. You might not want this in a set, to be fair. Next is Permanent Green, which is another duo pigmented colour. This is PG7 and PY154, which is 6. What have I got there? 632. Very nice. A lot of these are reliable with their light fastness as well, which is of course important with professional paint. I don't think any of them had the NR, so for what we can tell, most of these will be quite light fast, which is great. This one is Hooker's Green Deep, PG7 and PY150, 645 for the Rembrandt number. I might do a second video doing a painting because this video will already be quite long by the time I go through with the second round of colours. But let me know in the description if you actually do want a video of me using these in a painting. I could do a larger painting or something because I'll be just doing the painting in that video. So this is olive green, which is PY150, and PV19, which is 620, I believe, for the Rembrandt number. Next up is transparent oxide yellow, PY142, and it is 265 for the Rembrandt number. Very nice, reminds me of raw sienna, but we'll find out when I swatch that one next, or later on. Then we've got transparent oxide red, which is PR101, and 378. Very similar to burnt sienna. Again, we'll find out when I do the second round of swatching. Then we've got burnt umber, PBR7 409. Swatching is amazing. Like, wow. So good at staying in the line. Next, we've got transparent oxide umber, PY42, PR101, and PBK11. This is, I think, the only one that has 3 pigments in it, and this is 417 for the Rembrandt number. So this is quite an interesting colour to be the colour that's got 3 pigments in it, but it is very interesting. So you've got that. Next up is Van Dyke Brown. Sorry, I confused myself for a second, but this is Van Dyke Brown, PR101 and PBK7, and is 403 for the Rembrandt number. And lastly, before I let these dry, is Payne's Grey, which is PBK6 and PB15. And it is 708 for the Rembrandt number. Beautiful. Okay, so I shall let these dry, do a second coat over top of them off camera, and I'll be right back with you. Okie dokie, so these have all dried and I've done the second layer over top, so we'll go in with the second round of colours. First up for that is Cadmium Yellow Lemon with PY35 and 207. Then we have Azo Yellow Deep, which is PY110 248. Continuing on, we've got Gamboge, which is PY150 and PO48. 238 is the Rembrandt number. Then we move on to the Cadmium Orange, the second one in the set. And yep, they look exactly the same. That's a shame. I'm using more water in this swatch, so it looks slightly different, but when it dries down, you'll be able to definitely tell. So I won't bother with that information. Then we have Perillian Red Deep, which is PR178 354. Now, some people may ask why I swatch these out and not just go ahead and paint. And to that I say swatching helps you understand the colours, see how they act on the paper, and also is just kind of like an index so you can see what colours you have in the set, especially if you don't use it for a little bit and you come back to it and are not used to the colours. It can get quite confusing. So that's what I say to swatching. I love it. I swear by it. I love it so much. Anyway, this colour is Permanent Metallic with PR187 and number 336. Sorry. Then we've got the Fentanyl Red. Well, this is quite a brown red, which is PR101 and 349. I have a feeling this one will granulate, so I've put extra water on that. Continuing down the track, we've got Permanent Red Violet, which is PV19, 567. Then we've got Blue Violet, PV23, which is quite fun, very bright. And then we've got, that is 548. Again, I'm adding a little bit of water into this one because I think it will granulate. I could be wrong, but it looks like it might. Then we've got French Ultramarine, which is PB29, and this one should granulate quite a bit. I feel like French Ultramarine is quite reliable for its granulation. So extra water for that one too. Then we've got Phthalo reddish. PB15, and that is 583. Prussian Blue, PB27, 508. Cerulean Blue, PB35, 534. That one's quite light. I might add a bit more water to it, but it was harder to activate than the others. Then we've got Viridium, PG17. That one's also quite hard to activate. This is 616, and that's me using the same technique I've been using for all of them to get the colour off. Then we've got Emerald Green, PG36, 615. Sap Green, PY150, PG7, 623. I keep changing how I want to do this, by the way. I'm sorry, guys. Then we've got Chromium Oxide Green, PG17. I love this colour. I've got a beautiful version of it in my core selection of colours. The brand, not my core, like Apple core. This is 668. I don't quite like that colour as much as I like the core one, I have to admit. Then we've got Yellow Ochre, which is PY43 and PY42. It's confusing that it's duo pigmented. I feel like it usually isn't, but I could be wrong there. This is 227, I believe. Then we've got Raw Sienna, PY43. This is, oh, that's very light payoff. This is 234, and yeah, very, very light payoff. Then we've got Burnt Sienna, PBR7, and that's 2 Oh, 411, sorry, for the Rembrandt umber. Again, quite light payoff. Then we've got greenish umber, PBR8, and 410 for the Rembrandt number. Sepia, PBK7, PR101, 412. Can't even read my own writing, sorry guys. That's quite a yellow leaning sepia. I feel like sepia usually is more neutral. I quite enjoy the Schminker sepia colour. I've put that in one of my main travel palettes and I really enjoy that sepia. It's kind of the dark neutral brown you want it to be. Next up is Ivory Black, PBK6 701. This is quite a beautiful neutral black, looks like. I wonder if I put a little bit of extra water in there to see if it granulates. And lastly, for the swatches, we've got a neutral tint, which is PBK6 and PB19, 715. Oh, that's purple. Well, very purple leaning. I feel like that's how it usually goes with the neutral tint, which is quite interesting. But those are the second swatches. I'll do the second coat off camera once again, and then I'll give you guys a closer look at everything up close. I'm sorry about the shakiness once again, but I thought I would show you the final results if we do a close look. So they swatch out amazing. As you can see, the French ultramarine is still drying, but it does granulate as well as the ultramarine. Cobalt does slightly. The greens, it's kind of weak. It's not the greatest selection of greens, and I think two of them are really weak payoffs. Same with the cerulean blue, it's a bit weak for the payoff, and it's more of a warm blue rather than a cool cerulean. I guess that's not really a cerulean blue, but I prefer the cooler granulating counterpart to that cerulean blue, which is a shame that we got that color instead. If I let it focus on it, you can see what I mean. The browns, they kind of all look very similar. Like we've got three very yellow leaning browns, and then we've got two very red. Sorry for the sudden change and the shakiness still. It's just a short send out. Overall the set's alright. Like, it's beautiful colors, of course. It's just a lot of colors, and sometimes a lot of colors is a bad thing. Just especially since so many of them are very similar to each other, and it can be quite overwhelming having this many colors. And when you're painting, you know what kind of colours you use the most, so not all of these colours are going to be useful to you. So these are just kind of things you want to keep in mind before buying such a large set. I know I'll use them because I go through so much watercolour and I love it to death, but for other people the set might also be impractical size-wise, price-wise, and you might not even enjoy all the colours provided. So these are just things to keep in mind. Next video I'll do a painting with these paints so you can see them in action. But till then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.